everyone. Welcome back to the session of English. In this session, we are going to begin a new chapter that is preposition. This chapter is very important and this chapter is very interesting. So in this session, we are going to discuss various concepts of preposition and this is part 1 of this chapter. So we will be discussing prepositions in several parts. Okay. So this is part 1 of preposition. We are going to discuss introduction, various prepositions, omissions, and categories of preposition in this session, along with some usage and examples. Okay, so let's begin this session. So first of all, let us have introduction of preposition. Now, as you can see this word preposition or preposition. Now, if you just divide this word in two parts, it is somewhere like preposition. First of all, let me tell you that what are prepositions or what is preposition. Okay, so this word you can elaborate like you can divide this word into two parts. One is pre and another you can say about this word is position. Okay, so you can break this simple word into two parts. One is pre and another is position. Basically, if we want to define preposition, what is it exactly? If we use in a sentence, we know well that there are noun, pronouns, verbs, and many in the different parts of the speeches. Now, what happens when any noun or pronoun, it is indicated to another noun or pronoun or related to another part of the sentence? It means where the noun or pronoun, they are related to another parts of the sentences. The word that link this noun or pronoun with the another part of the sentence, that linkage or that particular word that links to things is known as preposition. Now, why do we use this word pre and position? Pre means something before and position means a place. Okay, so we know well that pre means before something or position means place. Okay, now if we talk about these two words, what does it actually mean? Suppose I say she is sitting on the chair. She's sitting on a chair, suppose. Now you can see that here a word is chair, which is actually the position, and this position is of she. It means this chair is actually a place where she is sitting. Okay, so this is position. And before this, we have used on, which is actually a preposition. Okay, so this is a preposition and this is a position. And this position, this word preposition has been used just before the position which it is modifying or which it is indicating. Okay, so prepositions are actually the words that indicate time, position, or various things. Okay, that we will elaborate in this session of preposition. Okay, so here we can see the definition of preposition. Preposition is a word or group of words. Now it can be group of words as well. Okay, how group of words, that we will discuss later on. That shows the relationship. Now this one is very important. Here you will find this definition is very important. It shows the relationship between a noun or pronoun and other words in a sentence. It means the entire sentence, they contain noun or pronoun and other parts of a speech in a sentence. So this preposition, it links either the noun or pronoun, that is the subject, with other parts of the sentence. Okay, so this relationship typically denotes the location. Now this one is very important. These prepositions, they indicate location, direction, time, or manner. Prepositions are generally short words. They are generally short words. It means you will find that these are very simple words. For example, on, in, these are very short words. And they are normally placed directly in front of nouns. In front means before nouns. Okay, so they are just used before nouns. That is why they are meant to be preposition. It means pre, where it is the position, the word which it is indicating, it is used just before that. Okay, if it is indicating the direction, it is used before direction. Okay, if it is indicating the time, it is just used before the time. For example, at 10 o'clock. Okay, if I say at 10 o'clock, so here you have time and here you have preposition that is used just before this 10 o'clock time. Okay. In some cases, when they are used together with a verb, now it also happens that we have a group of words. For example, with a verb, we use a preposition. Okay. Maybe before or after it. Okay. So here we have a preposition, and this creates a phrase. Okay. Preposition. Now this creates a phrase, and that phrase can be known as prepositional phrases. Moreover, one type of phrase is also formed from such combination, and that is known as phrasal verb. Okay. So whenever we add a verb plus preposition, whenever we make a combination of verb plus preposition, that can form two types of phrases. One is known as prepositional phrases, other is known as phrasal verb. And the difference between the two, that we will discuss later on in this session only. Okay. So that is known as phrasal verb. Okay. So let's elaborate these things. Now we'll discuss categories of prepositions. First of all, we have time prepositions. After that, place and direction prepositions. After that, manner prepositions. And after that, we have agent prepositions. Then we have measure prepositions. It means some words which indicate measurements. Okay. Some words which indicate the agents, or they behave like agents, or they show the agents. Manner prepositions. Manner means in which a task is done. Okay. Place and direction means these prepositions, they indicate direction or place. Okay. For example, he's going towards north. So this towards is a direction preposition because it is indicating direction. Okay. If I say he's in the room. So in the room, here we are using this word in to indicate the room or the place or the position. That is place and direction preposition. Well, we will elaborate this in this session only. Then time prepositions, those prepositions which indicate time. For example, at 10 o'clock, okay, in the evening. So this in, on, they can show time as well. Okay. Now let us move to the next one. First of all, we'll discuss time prepositions. Okay, so first of all, here we are going to discuss time prepositions. Now, what are time prepositions? These indicate when something happens. It means these prepositions, they indicate time of that task. Okay, examples include at, on, in, before, after, during, since, until, and by. Now, all these are actually time prepositions. Okay, all these prepositions can be used to indicate time durations or times. Okay, a time in the sense any point of time. Okay, for example, clock time, they can show the duration of time, they can show the point of time. So various time segments can be indicated with the help of these prepositions. Now we will be seeing various examples. Okay. For example, I will meet you at 3 p.m. Now here this 3 p.m. is a specific time or the clock time. Now here you can see at, which is indicating this 3 p.m. Okay, which is indicating this 3 p.m. This is time, and at is a preposition which is indicating this 3 p.m. She was born in January. Now when did it happen? In January. So this in is indicating January, that is a specific month. Okay. So whenever we talk about some time durations, for example, there are some short time durations as well as some long time durations. Okay. So we have two types of time durations. One is short, another one is long. Okay. Long time durations. Now, what are the short time durations? If we talk about day or date, that is known as short time duration. Okay. But if we talk about week, okay, month, and if we talk about days, not days, if we talk about a year, okay, if we talk about decade means 10 years. Okay. If we talk about a decade, or if we talk about a century, oh sure. Yes, if we talk about a decade, okay, decade means 10 years. Okay. And if we talk about century, okay, so these are actually the long time durations. So whenever we talk about these short time durations as well as long time durations, what we do for these short time durations, we basically use on, whereas for these long time durations, we use in. Okay. For example, we can say in a week, in July, in January, in February, in a year, in 1991, in 1998, in 2024, in 70s, in 80s, in 90s, okay, or century, in 21st century, in 30th century, in 16th century. So likewise. Okay, so in this manner we can use in for the long time durations, whereas and for the short time durations we basically use on. For example, on Monday, on Sunday, on 25th of August, on 6th of August. So like this, we use on for the short time durations, but in for the long time durations. Well, we are going to elaborate this later on. Okay. So for a specific month of a specific time, we are using prepositions. These are time prepositions, okay, which show different time durations or different time segments. Now you can have various examples with the help of these prepositions. For example, with on, we can say on Monday, on Sunday, I will meet you on Monday. Okay, I will deliver this lecture to you on Sunday. That is in these days. Okay, or you can say in a month, or in January, in February, before holiday, or before afternoon, before evening, after day after tomorrow, or after tomorrow, or after 20th. Okay, like this. During the holidays, during summer vacation, during the night, during evening. Okay, since 1945, since 1947, until um, until this year, until this month. Okay, by this month, by the end of this year. So like this, we can use these prepositions to show different time durations. Now let us move to the next one. Here we have place and direction prepositions. These indicate position, direction, or movement. Okay, for example, now these are actually the prepositions that can show place and direction: in, at, on, under, over, above, below, between, among, next to. So all these prepositions, beside, by, towards, into, out of, across, through, and around, all these prepositions, they actually show the place and direction to indicate these places and directions. For example, the cat is under the table. So this under is the position below the table. Okay, under is actually when we have a table, and under that, it means below that, when we have something. So that is known as under. We can use under to show that position. Okay, he walked towards the market. So towards the market, it means for towards the side of the market. It means not to the market, but towards that. Okay, when a person is going directly to market, we use he's going to the market. But if he does not have work from market, in fact he's going in that direction. Okay, so we can use towards. If a person is just going in that direction, we can use towards. But if his destination is market, then we have to use to. Okay, for example, if a person A, he is going to school because he's a student, so I can say that A is going to school. But if A is actually any person, and he has his house beside the school, so he's going in that direction of school, but he's not going to school. So I can say A is going towards the school. Okay, or A is going towards a school, because his destination is not a school actually. Okay. Now, there are various sentences that can be made with the help of these prepositions. Let us elaborate these prepositions one by one. In shows when someone is within the boundaries of something. Okay. For example, if I use in, well, we are going to elaborate these prepositions later on, but here I'm only giving the gist of these prepositions. In is basically used to show when something is within the boundaries. For example, Sita is in his room. Sita is in her room. So here you can say that the girl is in the room. It means within the boundaries of her room. At, when we say at home, he's at home. So his position is targeted towards home, or targeted at home. Under, the students are sitting under the tree, or the people are sitting under the tree. Okay. Over. Over is used when someone is actually vertically above something. Okay, when something is vertically above something and when the two things are not in contact with each other, we use over. For example, the fan is over our head. Now if you are sitting anywhere and the fan is just over your head, it means it is just vertically above you, and obviously the fan is not touching you, so we can use over for that fan. But if something is in contact with each other, for example, if something is above something and they both are in contact with each other, we use on. For example, if I say the apple is on the table, of course, if you see that this is table and this is apple. Okay, this is apple over here. Okay, I would draw this apple like this. So you can see that this is apple. Okay, and it is just on the table, so they both are in contact with each other. It means they both are in touch. Okay, my drawing is not so good, I'm just making just to let you know. Okay, so if I say that apple is on the table, it means they both are in contact with each other. Okay, above is some if we want to show that this is something in the plus point or in the increasing order to something, we can use above. For example, if I say my parents are above all, okay, it means I make them the priority, or they are the priority for me. Okay, or if I say nation is above all, okay, so it means I give priority to the nation. Okay, so above means when something is in plus, or below when something is in low manner, or when something is you can say in decreasing order. Okay, for average, for rank, we use these two words above and below, and they are opposite to each other. Well, there is a difference between under and below. Below is exactly used for something which is down. Okay, and under is actually when something is suppose there is a wall and here the painting of God is there. Okay, and below it we have a painting, we have a family photo. Okay, we have a family photo, so this family photo is below the picture or below the photo of God. Okay, so here for this we can use below because it is actually the position of these two things. But if something is under something, for example, if there is a table and under this a cat is sitting. Okay, a cat is sitting under this table, it means this cat is under the boundaries of, okay, it is just below the table or under it. Okay, it means it is uh, in the boundaries of this table or in the area of this table, whereas below shows the position, whereas under shows the below shows the decreasing position or the low position, whereas under shows the exact physical position of something. Okay, so well, this we will elaborate in later slides. Now, between and among. So between is exactly used for two people, whereas among is used for more than two people. Well, we are going to elaborate all these prepositions in later sessions. Okay, for more than two we use among. For example, she distributed toffees between the two students. Okay, or if I say she distributed the toffees among the students, it means within all the students. Okay, next to, it means beside. For example, my house is next to the mall. Next to the mall, it means just after the mall. Okay, beside means when something is on the side of something. For example, she's sitting beside me, just by me. Okay, but if I say besides, it's actually in addition to. Well, that is not that is another connector. By can be used in various duration, various segments, but here we are talking about place by. That means if someone is sitting beside me, I can also say he's sitting by me. Okay, towards means in the direction of something but not the same destination. Into means when the position changes. For example, he jumped into the river, it means from one medium to another medium. When one position changes or transforms, when something converts into another thing, that means we have to use the preposition into, because into shows the conversion, or you can say when position changes we use into. Okay, for example, if I say the boy jumped into the river, it means first he was outside the river and now he has jumped into the river, so his position has changed, therefore we can use into. Out of means when something is extracted out of something. For example, she took the papers out of the almirah, so out of means their position has been changed from inside to outside. Across means when something is from one from one part of the road to the other part. Okay, from one to another. It means when we cross something, we can use across. For example, he went across the river. It means he has crossed the river now. Okay, through means when something passes within something. For example, there is a tunnel and the train has to pass through it. It means just to cross this tunnel. Okay, it has to move from inside that. Okay, there we use through. Okay, for example, the train is passing through the tunnel. It means it is just inside the tunnel and crossing this tunnel from inside. Okay, that is tunnel. That is through. Around means when something is just going round of something. That is around. For example, she danced around me. Okay, enjoy. So there we can use around. Okay. Now we will definitely elaborate these prepositions along with examples. Now we have manner prepositions. What kind of manner prepositions are there? These indicate how something is done. This is very, very important here. Manner means the way of doing something. Okay, when we show how this thing has been done, we use this manner preposition. So manner preposition, these indicate how something is done. For example, now these prepositions are actually by, with, and like. Now let us see some examples. The first one is she wrote the letter with a pen. So how this task has been done? Here the task is writing a letter. And how has it happened? With a pen. Okay, so this was possible because of pen. The mother held the baby with care. So how did the mother hold the baby? Hold the baby with the care. So with shows, with indicates this manner, and the manner is care. Okay. She started at the shadows with fear. She stared. Stared means looking continuously in fear. Okay, she stared at the shadows with fear. So what was her manner to stare at the shadows? That was with fear. Okay, so with is actually a preposition which is showing the manner, that is fear. Okay, so this is manner over here. Okay, and the scare is also a manner. Okay. Now let us move to the next one. She left the room in tears. So how did she leave the room? In tears. So these are the manners. This is the manner in which she left the room. Okay. And this in is a preposition which is indicating this manner. Okay. I hope you have understood the meaning of manner preposition. Okay. Now let us move to the next one. Here we have agent prepositions. Now these are very, very important. How do we show it? Let me tell you once. Whenever anything happens, it is done by someone definitely. For example, if I write a sentence, it means agent is me. Why so? Because I have done that work. Okay. So if anything happens, it has done by someone definitely. And obviously, the person who is doing that, maybe possible he has taken help of something else as well. For example, if something has been done, the person who does it is known as agent of doing it. And this agent, if he has taken help of anything, that is known as instrument. Now this thing is very, very important, which I'm telling you. So just keep this in mind and note it somewhere. Now this thing is very, very important, and this will definitely help you out in your speech or communication. Agent is always shown by. Okay, whenever we have to show the agent, it has to be shown by. Moreover, if this agent is using some instrument to do that particular task, this instrument can be of two types. Either countable instruments, okay, something which you can count, or uncountable instrument. How? If you can count those things by which you can do something, that is countable instrument. And if you cannot count it, if it is uncountable, it means you cannot count in terms of 1, 2, 3, it will be uncountable. Now countable instrument is always described by preposition with, whereas uncountable instrument is described by in preposition. How? If I say this sentence has been written by me. Now, whenever we use a passive voice, we use this word definitely, that is by. Okay, so this sentence has been written by me. So here you can see that this this sentence has been written by. Now written is task action, and this is done by me. So this person is known as agent, and agent has to be represented by preposition. Now, obviously, if I have written this sentence, I must have written this with help of something. For example, a pen. So I can say with a pen. Okay, with a pen. And in which color? In red color. In red color. Now this red color is of course uncountable. Okay, but the pen is countable. So here you can see that with is used for pen, and pen is countable instrument. So we have used the word with. So this is countable instrument. Okay, CI means countable instrument. And in red color. So this red color or red ink is uncountable instrument, and we have used in with it. Okay, so agent is shown by, countable instrument is shown by with, and uncountable instrument is shown by in. So this you have to keep in mind. This is very, very important and widely used. These indicate a relationship between a doer and an action. They are by, in, and with. Now, let us see some examples. The book was written by Shakespeare. So this book was written, and this task has been done by Shakespeare. So here we have written the word by. Okay. Now we can also write the sentence like Shakespeare has written this book. Okay. Or Shakespeare wrote this book. This can also be the sentence, but there we are making Shakespeare as the subject, so we are not making it agent. Okay. Now, another part. The soldier wrote the message with a stick. Now here, obviously the soldier wrote the message. Now here the soldier is the subject, so we need not write by. Okay, it is not the object. Now wrote the message. Okay, this is transitive verb, so wrote the message. Now, this message has been written with a stick. It means maybe possible he did not have anything at that time, so he wrote the letter with a stick. And in blood, it means he does not have a pen. He did not have a pen. He did not have ink to write it over there. He did not have anything. Obviously, he's a soldier. Maybe possible what situation he was in. So he wrote that message with a stick in blood. Okay, and where did he write it? God knows. Now, this is actually a sentence which you can see showing the emotion or the situation of the soldier, that he delivered a message with a stick in blood. Okay, it means he wrote a message with a stick in blood. Okay, so here you can see these prepositions that have been used to show these prepositions or the examples of these prepositions. Now these are called agent prepositions. Now let us move to the next one. Now we'll see measure prepositions. It means those prepositions which are used in measurements. These indicate differences of weight, amount, age, length, etc. It means these indicate, actually they show, or when we want to write the sentence related to measurements and anything, these prepositions are used to write such sentences. For example, by, with, of. And also we have some more words like per or par. Okay. So at, these also show the measurements. They won the game by 5 points. So this is the difference. It means they won the game by 5 points. It means the difference between their and the foe's team, the competitor team, though the difference was only of 5 points. So to show the difference, we have used measure prepositions. Also, to measure something, we can use these prepositions. They receive up to 500 calls per week. It means per week, it means in a week. Okay, so per week shows in a week, and how many calls they get? 500 calls. So per week shows it means during the week. Okay, so this per means this amount per this amount. Okay, so this shows actually the rate at which they get the calls. Okay, so these are also called measuring prepositions. Okay, now let us move to the next one. Now we'll discuss what are prepositional phrases. As I told you that with a verb, if we use a preposition, this phrase is known as prepositional phrase. But this combination can also be called phrasal verb. Now, what is the difference between these two, prepositional phrase and phrasal verb? Now, for example, if a preposition, or you can say if with a verb, different prepositions can be used, and according to that their use will be changed, but not the meaning. For example, if I use made of and made from, here the word made serve the same meaning in both the phrases, but here if we see made of and made from, they are used differently. For example, if I use made of, here something which is of physical change, we can in case of physical change we can use made of, and in case of chemical change we can use made from. Okay, so that is known as prepositional phrase. A prepositional phrase begins with a preposition and includes the object of the preposition, usually a noun or pronoun. The phrase can function as an adjective or adverb. The cat with the fluffy tail is cute. Now, prepositional phrase with the fluffy tail describes the cat. Okay, so this is known as prepositional phrase. However, verb plus preposition is also known as prepositional phrase, but both the uses can be different, as this is actually also known as prepositional clause. Okay, now this type is also known as prepositional clause. Okay, so this is not only the prepositional phrase, but it is actually the prepositional clause. But what is prepositional phrase? Well, that we'll discuss later on. Okay, this is actually the prepositional clause, not the prepositional phrase. Okay, now let's move to the next one. Ending sentences with prepositions. Points to remember: ending sentences with prepositions. Traditional grammar rules say no to end sentences with prepositions, but many modern style guides consider this rule outdated. Still, it is a contentious point among some grammarians. Now, obviously, we do end the sentence with prepositions. However, this is not done, or this was not done traditionally, but nowadays we use it. In fact, we find these type of sentences modern. In fact, we find these sentences, you can say they look good, or they heard to be good. For example, this is the book I was looking for. Okay, so this is actually a modern style of speaking sentences, and we do use prepositions at the end of the sentence. Obviously, if we are using prepositions for interrogative words, we use preposition basically in the end of the sentence. For example, what are you looking for? Where are you going to? Or whom did you speak to? So these type of sentences. If a sentence begins with a question word, definitely we use preposition in the end of the sentence. For example, whom did you speak to? Whom did you speak to? Okay, so in this case, we can see preposition in the end of the sentence. What are you looking for? What are you looking for? Okay, so whenever we begin a sentence with an interrogative word, we use preposition in the end of the sentence generally. Okay, now let us move to the next one. Prepositions versus adverb. Now, there can be the difference between prepositions and adverb. You might confuse many times with by seeing the same word, because the same word can be used as a preposition as well as adverb. How? Let me tell you. Some words can be both prepositions and adverbs, but their function differs based on the sentence. For instance, up. Now, up is actually a preposition as well as an adverb. Now, preposition indicates the position, whereas adverb is actually the place or place where the task has been done. Okay. Now, she looked up. Here, up is an adverb. Now, she looked up. It means, where did he look? He looked up. Okay. So here, this word up is indicating the place where this task has been done. Okay. But in she climbed up, it means she climbed up the ladder. It means the ladder will be the adverb, whereas up is the preposition. Okay, or this up is a preposition. Okay, why so? Because this up is showing the direction in which the ladder is there, or in which the task is being done, whereas the ladder is the place where she climbed up. Okay. And if I say he looked up, so here this verb is directly towards up. So this up is the adverb. Okay. So it can be different, the meaning can be different, or the parts of a speech can be different according to the meaning of the sentence. Now, phrasal verbs and prepositions. English has numerous multi-word verbs known as phrasal verbs that consist of a verb followed by a word that is typically used as a preposition. This component, however, functions as a participle rather than a true preposition. The meaning of phrasal verbs often cannot be deduced simply by understanding the individual words. Now, what happens? We have two type of things. One is prepositional phrase. Okay, one is prepositional phrase. Now another is phrasal verb. Okay, another is phrasal verb. Now what happens? What is the difference exactly between the two? Now let me tell you. Now here we have a verb and after that a preposition. We use same structure in both the cases. Okay, verb plus preposition. Here also we have verb plus preposition. So we have the same structure in both the cases. Okay. Now, in English, actually, it happens that the same word can be used in various different manners. Okay. Now here, if I have verb plus preposition, here too I have verb plus preposition. So both have the same type of combination. But the difference is here use differs with preposition, with the change of preposition. But in this case, change of preposition. But here, meaning changes. Meaning changes with change in preposition. With change in preposition. Also, individual meanings individual meanings are also different. For example, now let us take some examples. If I say there is a word made of, and there is another phrase that is made from. Now here, made means to make something or to modify something, to you can say to give something a shape. Okay, that is made. Now, made is actually the second form of make. Now here, if we see the meaning of made of and made from, now here we see that preposition changes in both the phrases, whereas the meaning of made remains same as the meaning of made actually. Okay, that means to give the shape, to give shape to something, to give formation to something, or to form something. For example, if I say my ring is made of gold. Now here, my ring is made of gold. So this is actually the physical change. Okay. Now if I just you can say if I just melt that ring, it will reconvert it into gold. Okay. I can also say that ice is made of water. Okay, if I melt ice, it will definitely convert into water, and if I freeze the water, it will be converted into ice. So that is reversible change. And made from is used with irreversible changes or the chemical changes. For example, if I suppose I say that cake is made from sugar, flour, and cream. Now, obviously, if I have made a cake, it cannot be converted back. Okay, or it will not be reconverted. For example, if I have made the cake, I cannot get sugar back, okay, out of it. But if I have made the ring, I can re-extract the gold. Okay, re-extract gold. So this is actually the difference between made of and made from. Only the use differs with the change of preposition, but the meaning of this made remains same. Whereas in case of phrasal verb, if I use a phrase that is give up, okay, and if I use the word get up, okay. Now let me take some other example where I can write both the prepositions same. For example, if we have word put off, Now we have a word put down. Okay. Now these two are the phrasal verbs. We are using the same verb, but what is the meaning of put? Put, to keep something. But if I say put off means to postpone something. Now, the meaning of put is means to keep something, but here put off means to postpone something. Does the meaning of these two verbs match? No, they do not match. In fact, the meaning of this verb change has changed individually, as well as if we talk about the entire phrase, that is put off, it actually its meaning is actually postpone. Whereas if we talk about put down means to write down something. Okay, here put down means to write down something. So here, if I talk about this phrase put down, so I can say put down my words. So put down means to write down something. Does it match anyhow with the word put or the actual meaning of put? No, not at all. So this is known as phrasal verb, where this combination verb plus preposition, it behaves like an idiom. Okay, so this is actually the difference between prepositional phrase and phrasal verb. I hope you got these two differences. Now, for example, if we talk about phrasal verb, give up means quit. Okay, so if I give up means I quit. Now let us move to the next one. Now we'll discuss some concepts of prepositions. So here we'll first of all discuss prepositions of time. So as I told you that we'll elaborate these prepositions in our later slides. So we have already learned the prepositions of time. Now we are going to elaborate those. So this is concept number 1, where we'll discuss prepositions of time. Prepositions of time are used to link time-related nouns like moments, days, months, seasons, etc. to the rest of the sentence, providing a context of when something happens. Okay. Now, first of all, we have preposition at, used for precise times and specific moments. If we talk about clock times, okay. If we talk about particular time, okay, exact time, we can use at. For example, at 3 o'clock, at midnight, at lunchtime, at the moment, at sunrise. Also for night. Now, if we talk about parts of day and night, we use in. For example, in the morning, in the evening, in the afternoon. But in case of night, we only use at. For example, at night. Okay. So these animals, you can see these animals at night. Okay. Or these animals come out of their houses at night. So at night, with this duration of time, that is night, we use at, whereas with other parts of the day and night, we use in. Okay, so this is 3 o'clock, this is clock time, so we are using at midnight, at night, at lunchtime. So this is actually the duration or specific time. So at lunchtime, at the moment means just now, or at sunrise or at sunset means the particular time, because sunrise obviously is the point of time or the specific time moment. Okay, that is actually the moment of time. Okay, so to show these type of times, we use at preposition. Now we'll see on the basis of time, used for specific days and dates. So as I told you, to show short time durations, to show or indicate short time durations. So this I have already told you earlier. To show the short time durations, we use on. Okay. For example, on Monday, on Sunday, or on any day. Okay. On my birthday, on New Year's Eve, on April 15th, on that day, on this day, but we cannot say on today. Okay. Or before these days, which are fixed, like today, tomorrow, yesterday. We cannot use any preposition with these durations. Well, that this omission we will discuss later on. Okay, so on the Independence Day, on 26th January, this is short time duration. To show any short time duration, we basically use preposition on. Okay, now let us move to the next one. Here we have in. For longer periods such as months, years, seasons, centuries, general times of day, and decades, we use in. Okay. For example, in January, in 2022, in the 20th century, in 70s, in 80s, in 90s. Okay. So to show the decades, to show the general times of day, for example, in the evening, in the afternoon. Okay. In the morning, in morning. Okay, so there we can use in. Okay, so in this case, in winter, in summer, so these type of days which are longer periods of time, we can use in. Okay, Now, if we talk about in is also used for past and future times. For example, in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. But note that we say at night. For night, we use at. In winter, spring, in summer, and fall. Okay. So in these type of times, we use in. Okay. In the past, in the future. Now we'll discuss preposition by to indicate time. Means no later than a particular time. It indicates a deadline. Now, whenever we use by to show the time, it means it is indicating that this time is the final time and we cannot go beyond that. Also, we cannot go later than that. Also, it indicates the deadline. Okay, it means it is the finishing time after which we cannot move, or after which we cannot do any task. For example, I'll finish the work by 5 p.m. It means 5 p.m. is the last point of time after which we cannot continue with our work. By the time you arrive, I will have left. It means till the time you have arrived, this is the final time. I will have left. It means till that time I would have left. Okay. Now this is actually the phrase by the time, where the first part of the sentence is in present indefinite and the remaining will be in future perfect tense. And if the by the time clause, if it is in past indefinite tense, the remaining part will be in past perfect. Okay. So this phrase we have already learned in tenses as well. Okay. Now let us move to the next one. Here we have the word before. Before indicates that something happens earlier than a point in time. Okay, before means when something is done before some point of time. For example, before 10 o'clock. It means before 10 o'clock, it means the end time is 10 o'clock. Before that, we should have done that work that has been told about. So you should call her before it gets late. Okay, it means before it gets late, it means before that time. Okay. Now after is just the opposite of before. So opposite of before, it indicates that something happens later than a point in time. She will visit after the holiday. She will visit after Diwali. She will visit after 10 o'clock. Okay, like this. After means beyond that time. Now here we have during. During means during that particular particular duration of time. So indicate something that happens within a certain period of time. For example, it rained during the night. It means during the entire night. Okay. Uh, in the night. It means when the night was going on. So she was absent uh, uh, during the exams. It means she did not come to take any exam. Okay. Now, since indicates a starting point of an action or event that continues up to the present. I have known him since 1995. It means from a particular point of time in the past. She has been working since morning. It means from morning she has been working. Okay, so a particular time in the past. To show the particular time in the past, that is uncountable time, we use since. Now, until specifies an ending time. Wait here until I return or till I return. Okay, until they both serve the same meaning, but one thing is there that until is used in negative tense, negative sense, whereas till is used in positive sense. We cannot use not with either of the two words. Wait here until I return, it means till the time I return, or wait here till I return, it means up to that particular time when I return. She will be in Spain until April. It means when April comes, she will leave Spain, but till that time, she will be in Spain only. Now, for is actually used for the countable times, which have units. For example, if I say 2 days, so here you can see that these 2 days can be counted 1 day, then 2 days. Okay, and this days, these are the units which are after the numbers. So whenever we have unit in the numbers, whenever we have unit in the time indication, when the time can be counted or it is countable, we use for. Okay, this is actually the difference between since and for when we use it in present perfect continuous tense or present perfect tense or any perfect continuous tense, where we show that if the time is countable, we use for, and for the uncountable time, we use since. Okay, it specifies a duration or length of time. I have lived here for 10 years. Now you can count these 10 years. So for 10 years, you are showing the length of time. There you can use for, because here years are the units of these 10. He has been studying for 2 hours. So 2 hours, these hours are units for this 2, and 2 hours can be counted 1 hour, then 2 hour. Okay. Now let us move to the next one. These are the points where no preposition. It means where we cannot use any preposition. It means which is actually the omission of preposition. Here it is not point. It is actually showing the omission of preposition, where we cannot use preposition or where we use preposition incorrectly. Now preposition will elaborate this on the basis of time only, but later on we'll discuss the omissions of prepositions. Sometimes we don't need a preposition of time. For instance, we use no preposition with next, last, this, every, and, today, tomorrow, yesterday. It means if we have these type of words, we cannot use preposition before them. For example, if I say I will go there next Sunday, I cannot say I will go there on next Sunday. That will be incorrect. Okay. If I say I will go there on next Sunday, Now if I say next Sunday, obviously I'm representing a particular time, that is I am going there next Sunday. I need not use this on before it. Okay, so before these words I cannot use on, because this next Sunday is itself a particular time which I'm indicating. If I say this summer, I cannot say in this summer. Okay, if I say today, I will go there today, I cannot say I will go there on today. I cannot say on tomorrow. I cannot say on yesterday. That will be definitely incorrect. Before such words, we cannot use any preposition. Next week, last summer, this morning, every day. Now, with these words or before these words, we cannot use any preposition. And this one is very, very important. This we should keep in mind. Just jot it down or note it down somewhere. So this is really very important rule about prepositions. Now, variation in uses. How there can be variations in the use of these prepositions, especially between different varieties of English. Now this is something very interesting. For example, we speak English in two manners. One is British English and another is American English. Nowadays we are using various concepts or various styles of speaking English. Some of us may be speaking American English, some of us may be speaking British English, or maybe possible we are mixing both together. Okay, so there are variations in the use of these two, as we have variations in the spellings of these two kinds of English. For example, if we talk about American English and British English, there are many differences of which you can see of prepositions, the use of prepositions, the pronunciation of the words, the spellings of the word. For example, if we talk about American English, we use the word many words, like if the word is favor. So in British English, we write spelling F-A-V-O-U-R, whereas in American English, we write F-A-V-O-R. So these are differences. And this difference can be seen in various spellings of the words. Okay, or in the spellings of various words. Okay, now here as well, in the use of preposition, the difference can be seen. For instance, British English might use at the weekend. It means if we talk about British English, we use the phrase at the weekend, whereas in American English, we prefer on the weekend, or Americans, they prefer to say on the weekend, and in British English we used to say at the weekend. When the precedes morning or evening, and it's typically used as the preposition of time. This usage helps to specify a particular part of the day. Okay, for example, if I say when we use the morning, it means we are talking about a particular morning. Okay, now let us see some examples of it. I'll see you in the morning. In the morning means in the morning only. Okay, we have a meeting scheduled in the evening. It means during this specific point of time. Okay, or this duration. Now, however, it is worth noting that if you are referring to a specific day's morning or evening, on is the appropriate preposition. Now, if we talk about some specific morning or evening, we can use preposition with it. Okay. I'll see you on the morning of 10th October. It means I'm talking about the morning only, which will be on 10th. Okay. It means the morning of 10th. So here we are making this morning particular, therefore we are using on. If I say in the morning, that is fine, but on we cannot use with any part of day and night. But in case we are making it particular, we are relating it to some date or something which make it particular, we can use on. We have a meeting scheduled on the evening of July 4th. It means we are talking about only that evening that will arise on July 4th. When a or n precedes morning or evening, on is typically the appropriate preposition to use. The construction is used to denote a certain event or action that will occur during a non-specific morning or evening. Okay, it means we are talking about some particular morning or evening where there we can use the preposition on. For example, let's meet on a morning that's convenient for you. Okay, on a morning means only that particular morning which is convenient for you. The concert is on in evening next week. Okay, it means it will only held in evening. The preposition at is before the weekend is most famous in most forms of standard English. When referring to specific times during festival, at can be used. Okay, for example, I'll see you at Diwali. She plans to visit her family at Christmas. So there, in this case, before festival, we can use at to show the particular time. The town has a big parade at Easter. Okay. However, if referring to a duration or a specific day during the festival, during or on might be more appropriate. Okay. For example, there are many events during Diwali. She will be visiting on Christmas Day. When we use last, next, this, or every before time denoting words, we typically don't use prepositions at, on, or in before the time expression. Okay, so before such words, we cannot use any preposition. Well, I have already discussed this with you earlier as well. For example, if the word is last, I saw her last week. I cannot say I saw her on last week. So this on will be incorrect. They went on vacation last summer. Obviously, vacation is a duration of time. We cannot use on. Okay. Or they went on vacation. Okay, vacation is actually the here we can use on. This one is correct. Here I'm saying they went on vacation. It means vacation here means to enjoy the vacation. Okay, we will meet next Tuesday. Okay, I have an appointment next month. Okay, this I'm busy this evening. I cannot say I'm busy in this evening. Okay, they are coming over this weekend. I go to the gym every day. I cannot say I go to the gym on every day. This on will be incorrect. She visits her parents every year. Okay, I cannot say she visits her parents on every year. That will be incorrect, or in every year will also be incorrect. Now, important rules of since for or during. For and since are both used to denote time durations, but they are employed in different situations and have distinct meanings. For example, if we want to use it for purpose, for is used to specify a duration or length of time. Usage, it can be used with all tenses, but it is particularly common with present perfect and present perfect continuous tenses. Okay. When we talk about perfect tenses or the perfect continuous tenses, we use for and since. Okay, perfect continuous. However, if we talk about future perfect or future perfect continuous, we might not use since. In place of that, we can use from. Okay. Example, I studied for 2 hours. This is simple past tense. She has lived in New York for 3 years. So this is present perfect tense. And they had been waiting for 45 minutes. This is past perfect tense. Okay. Now let us move to the next one. Since shows the purpose. Since is used to specify starting point of or the beginning of a period. It means it since denotes some time, some particular time in the past, which is actually not countable, but it is actually the point of time in the past, and this period continues up to the present tense. Up to the present time duration actually, or up to a certain point of time in the past, but it will not show the time in future. Since is most commonly used with present perfect and present perfect tense. Past perfect tenses. I have known her since 2010. It means since 2010. It means from 2010 and up to now. So this is present perfect tense. It has been raining since morning. It means from morning the rain is continuous. Okay, so present perfect continuous. They had been friends since childhood. So this is past perfect tense. Okay. But basically we avoid the use of since in future tenses. Whereas for can be used in future tenses as well. Now let us have some examples. Key differences. Reference point. For references, duration for 2 weeks, for 5 days, for several days. It means when the time is countable, we basically use for. Since references a specific starting point, since Tuesday, since 2005, since breakfast, since 1947. So a particular point of time can be shown with the help of since, where the time is not countable. Type of time expressions: with for, you can use any time expression, be it short or long, for a minute, for a month, for ages. Since is followed by a point in time or a specific event in the past: since yesterday, since my last birthday, since the movie began. Examples: common mistakes. Avoiding confusion between for and since can be challenging for learners. I have lived here since 4 years. So this will be incorrect. Why so? Because if I am talking about 4 years, obviously this years are the units for the word for. And also, if I see 4 years, I can count them: 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year. And if the time is countable, I have told you that for countable time we use for, not since. Therefore, this since is incorrect over here. It should be replaced by for. So the correct sentence will be, I have lived here for 4 years. Okay, it means a person has already lived in this place and he has lived here for 4 years. Okay. Now, in contrast, I have lived here since 2019. Now, if I'm writing only the point of time, particular duration, or if I'm not writing any countable time, I cannot, I am having a time over here which does not have any unit with it, we can use since. Okay, remember, for indicates a length of time or duration, while since points to the starting moment or initiating event of an action or situation. Okay, it is not showing the length of time. During is followed by a noun which often represents a period of time, an event, or an activity. However, it is not typically followed by specific time indication or expression. Okay. Correct usage: we will have a break during the meeting. It rained during the night. She fell asleep during the movie. Okay, so these are the examples of during. Now, what can be the incorrect usage of during? If I say we will have a break during 3 p.m. Now, this is actually a point of time. This is not actually the duration. During shows the duration, but this 3 p.m. is not the duration. Duration is actually the, you can say, when you can see a length from up to this time, and this you know well. This duration is actually the time interval you know well. There you can use duration. Otherwise, during. But if the duration is given, but if only the starting point is given, we cannot use during, because that's just the initiating and not the ending we know. Okay, it rained during Tuesday. That will be incorrect. Okay, because the correct phrasing should be would be it rained on Tuesday. Okay. It is essential to remember that during indicates at some point within a span of time. Okay, so you have to show the span of time for this word to be used, that is during, or throughout an event or activity, while other prepositions like on, at, and in refer to specific times or days. The distinction between during and while: both words refer to something that happens simultaneously with another event. However, they are used differently in sentences. How? Let us discuss. During is followed by a noun. I fell asleep during the movie. Okay, it means when the movie was going on, I was sleeping. But in case of while is used before a subject and verb. So this is actually the difference between during and while. During is used just before noun, whereas while is used before verb. Okay, or the subject and verb. I fell asleep while I was watching the movie. So this is the sentence phrase. So sentence, the entire sentence where I have used while. But if I say while movie, only a single word, that is noun, there I use during. Let us compare them in similar situations. We heard the news during breakfast. Here breakfast is a noun. But if we say we heard the news while we were having breakfast, not eating, it should be having. Maybe some typing error is over there. Okay, so we heard the news while we were having breakfast. So in this case, we are eating breakfast is a clause. Okay. She called me during the meeting. The meeting is a noun phrase. She called me while I was in the meeting. So I was in the meeting is a clause. So this is the simple difference between while and during. Both of them, after during we have noun or the noun phrase, but after while we have the entire clause or the sentence structure, that is subject plus verb. Okay. So this is actually the main difference between during and while. However, both of them show the continuous action or two simultaneous actions which are occurring simultaneously. Okay, two actions which are occurring simultaneously. Examples: remember the key difference is the word that follows. During is followed by a noun or the noun phrase, whereas while is followed by a clause that is a subject and verb. Important rules of by and till. Now we have already read during and while. Now we'll see the difference between by and until or till. Both by and until, or its informal version that is till. This is till, till. Okay, deal with time, but they are used in different contexts to convey different meanings. How? By. Purpose. The purpose of by is by refers to a specific deadline or end point in time, meaning no later than or at or before a particular moment. Usage: it indicates that an action will be completed before or at a specific time in the future, or was completed before a time in the past. Future context: I will finish the project by 5 p.m. Okay, this means I will have the project finished at 5 p.m. or possibly before, but not after. Okay, it means by shows the deadline. It means the work will be done before that or up to that particular time, but it will not be continued after it. Okay, so this is actually the use of by. Past context: she had left by the time you have arrived. It means she had left. It means by the time you have arrived, so she left before you arrived. Okay, so your arrival was the last point. She had left before that. She was not there when you came. Okay. Until or till. Purpose: for until denotes a continuation of an action up to a certain point in time. It emphasizes the duration or continuation of an action, and the action stops once that point in time is reached. Usage: it is used to show the continuation of a situation or action up to a specified time. Examples: future context: I will be working until 6 p.m. Okay, it means till 6 p.m. I will be doing this work. This means I'll continue working and stop at 6 p.m. Past context: she worked until she was exhausted. It means when she got tired, when she was exhausted, she left that work. Okay, but till that time she was continuously working. Okay, now till and until, they both can be substituted with each other because both these words they serve same meaning. However, there is a difference that can be seen or that can be noticed. Okay, however, these two words, they do not have different meanings. Here we can see the key differences. By sets a deadline for the completion of an action. The book needs to be returned by Friday. Friday is the latest acceptable time. Okay, or you can say the last acceptable time. Until denotes the span of time during which an action or situation persists. The library is open until 9 p.m. It means the library remains open and will close at 9 p.m. By the time introduces a temporal clause, and it is usually followed by a complete clause with a subject and verb, which describes a specific point in time when another action mentioned in the main clause occurs or will occur. In contrast, by alone is typically followed by a simple time reference or event, not a whole clause, or not the whole clause. For example, if we use by the time, also by the time is actually used in the structure which is tense based. For example, if we are using by the time and after that we have two clauses, the by the time clause, they can be either in present indefinite or past indefinite, and the remaining clause, if the by the time clause is in present indefinite, the remaining clause will be in future perfect tense, and if the by the time clause is in past indefinite, the remaining clause will be in past perfect tense. So this indefinite and perfect make the combination of this phrase by the time. Usage: it sets the timing of one event in relation to another. Now, by the time I arrived at the station, the train had already left. Now you can see that this is in past indefinite, whereas the another clause is in past perfect tense. Okay, so this is actually the combination which should be followed with this by the time phrase. I have arrived at this station is the temporal clause introduced by the time. The train had already left is the main clause that describes the action. Now this temporal clause or this by the time clause or the introduction clause or the clause which is introduced by the time phrase, it should be always in indefinite tense, whereas the remaining clause should be in perfect tense, and the combination will be made between past and future, present plus future. Okay. She will be asleep by the time we get home. Okay, we get home is the temporal clause introduced by the time. She will be asleep is the main clause describing the action. By, it indicates a deadline or the latest time by which an action will be completed. I'll finish the report by Friday. It means Friday is the time reference, or it is the last day of the report to be submitted or to be finished. The store closes by midnight. Midnight is the time reference. It means it is the end of time. It means after midnight you cannot see the store open. Comparison, by the time, sets up a scenario in which one action is complete when another action occurs. By the time you read this letter, I will be far away. By gives us a deadline or endpoint for an action. Please submit the form by tomorrow. Okay, so this is the basic difference between by the time and by. By shows the deadline, whereas by the time, in this two actions, they occur one after the another. Now, these are the differences between by and by the time and various prepositions that we have already discussed in this session. I hope this session was really beneficial for you all and you really find it interesting. So there are many prepositions that we have discussed till now. Well, this is a long journey to go. We have to learn a lot of prepositions and their uses and also the omissions of prepositions, but that all we are going to discuss in future sessions of the same chapter, that is prepositions. Well, if you want to learn this chapter preposition accurately or in an interesting manner, be connected with me for future sessions as well. Till then, thanks to you.